Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Teruvan Saranai. Good evening, Venerable Mahasangha, Sires and brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today we are continuing with part 3 of the Dassana Tika, removable by insight triplet. So coming back to the three terms of the removable by insight triplet, we have dassanena pahātabbā dhamma, states that are removable by insight. Bhāvanāya pahātabbā dhamma, states that are removable by cultivation. And neva dassanena na bhāvanāya pahātabbā dhamma, states that are removable by neither insight nor cultivation. Now we're actually coming back to something that we described earlier, but just to refresh your minds, why this is called dassanena pahātabbā dhamma. The first term, dassanena pahātabbā, the word dassana means to see. So the first consciousness that sees Nibbana is the stream winner's consciousness. So what is meant here by insight or by dassana refers to the path of the stream winner, because it is the 8 magganga or the 8 path factors which is responsible for getting this first glimpse of Nibbana. Now, in the stream of consciousness, just before this magga chitta is the gotrabhu or the change of lineage consciousness. Now, the gotrabhu chitta also takes Nibbana as its object. However, it is said that it barely glimpses Nibbana because it doesn't do the task which is supposed to be done, which is elimination of the kilesas or the corruptions or the fetters. So the task is completed only by the path of this magga chitta. So for that reason, because the task is completed by the path of the stream winner, this is called the first to see Nibbana in its true form. So the illustration given before was, if a person goes to meet the king with some sort of business in mind, but he only gets to see the king riding his elephant from afar. It is true that he saw the king, however, his task was not completed. So therefore, we cannot say that that man saw the king. But if he was able to meet the king, complete that business meeting, then that would be the true sight, or that would what we can consider as truly seeing the king. So similarly, the gotrabhu chitta is like the man who saw the king from afar riding the elephant, and the path of the stream winner is what truly sees the king and meets and completes the task, which is of eliminating the fetters. Now we come to the Nikkepa Khandang, the summary section description of dassanena pahātabbā dhamma. Which are the states that are removable by insight? Tini sanyojanani, the 3 fetters. Sakkaya ditti, wrong view of self. Vicikicca, doubt. Silabbata paramasa, clinging to rites and ceremonies in the belief that they can lead to liberation. Now, if you take these 2 fetters, Sakkaya Ditti and Silabbata Paramasa, they are actually 2 different forms of Ditti. So as a mental factor, it would be Ditti, Chetasika. And Vicikicca, doubt, is another Chetasika. So here we have defined the 3 fetters, but if you look at them as mental factors, they fall into 2 mental factors, Ditti and Vicikicca. These 3 fetters, Tade Kattacha Kilesa, and the corruptions united therewith, Tan sampayutto vedanakkhando, sanyakkhando, sankarakkkhando, vijñānakkkhando. And the four aggregates associated with them, Tang samuttana, kaya kammang, vaci kammang, mano kammang, as well as the action, bodily, verbal, and mental springing from them. These are the states that are removable by insight. So not only the three fetters, but also the corruptions that are united with them, as well as the four aggregates associated with them, are eliminated by the path of the stream winner. And why this fourth sentence, Tang sampayuttanam kaya kammang, vaci kammang, mano kammang, is given is because you can't perform any unwholesome acts without these three doors. So it has to either be through the body, action of the body, or through speech, or through thinking, through the mind, that the unwholesome deeds are performed, which is why Tang sampayuttanam, kaya kammang, and so on is mentioned here. So in total, these are what, collectively, these are what are considered as the states that are removable by insight. So now let's take this phrase, thade kattacha kilesa. Now the word thade katta comes from the word ekattam. Ekattam means united. It means either persisting in one consciousness or one person. When we add the prefix sahaja to ekattam, we get sahaja ekattam, which is united in coexistence. This means that which persists in one consciousness. When we add the prefix pahāna to ekattam, we get pahāna ekattam, which means united in removal. And that refers to that which persists in one person. So the word united therewith, thade katta, means it persists with a mental factor like greed, or it persists in one consciousness together with another state, such as phassa vedana, contact, and so on. So now here we must see what the word thade katta means. So it can mean either pahāna kattam or sahaja kattam. So let's look at them one by one. So we came across this word thade kattacha kilesa in akusala dhamma, sankilitta dhamma. And what thade kattang refers to in such paragraphs was united in coexistence, or sahaja katta, that which persists in one consciousness. And what about dassanena pahātabbā dhamma? And in the next triplet, dassana pahātabbā hetuka dhamma, there also we come across this word thade katta. And here it refers to united in removal, pahāna katta, that which persists in one person. So here, in this paragraph, when we said thade kattacha kilesa, the thade kattam refers to pahāna kattam, that which persists in one person. And what it really means by persisting in one person is through this removal of these fetters, what happens is those fetters will never arise in that particular stream of consciousness. So in that particular person will not generate those fetters ever again, because they are completely eliminated. So in that sense of removal, it is called pahāna katta. So now we come to the Atthasālinī description of dassanena pahātabbā hetuka dhamma. And here again they give us a further elaboration of this word thade katta, united therewith. So we know that the corruptions, wrong view, ditthi, and doubt, vicikiccha, are completely eliminated. And in addition, certain corruptions, thade kattacha kilesa, are also eliminated. And here it refers to the remaining 8 corruptions, which are lobha, greed, dosa, hatred, moha, delusion, mana, conceit, sloth, tinam, uddachya, restlessness, ahirikam, shamelessness, and anuttappa, fearlessness of wrong. So, although now if you take ditti, when ditti is completely eliminated, together with it are eliminated the other mental factors and the consciousness that arises with it. So you know that a certain fetter, a corruption, cannot arise on its own. It has to arise together with a consciousness and other mental factors. Therefore, by eliminating a certain corruption, like wrong view or doubt, together with those two are eliminated the remaining consciousness and mental factors that arises together with it. And again, another thing happens here. Now we have complete elimination of ditti and vicikiccha from this first path. And at the same time, the corruptions or the akusala dhamma, the unwholesome risings of consciousness that gives rise to births in subhuman realms are also eliminated. So it basically thins out or cuts off the grosser forms of these unwholesome chitta chetasikas, so that that person will not be born in a subhuman birth or a realm again. So in that sense, we have to take this as a pahāna kattam of those other corruptions. So when ditti and vicikiccha are eliminated, we must see what are the types of consciousness that are eliminated together with them. So first we'll take ditti, wrong view. So if you recall, we have 8 lobha chitta. Out of them, 4 are associated with wrong view, dittigata, sahagata chitta. So these 4 consciousness are eliminated here. And also if you look at vicikiccha, doubt is found only in relation to the vicikiccha sahagata chitta. It's a mohamula chitta. So now let's first take the 4 dittigata sahagata chitta, the 4 consciousness associated with wrong view. First, we'll take the 2 unprompted ones, the asankarika chitta. So here, together with ditti, the corruptions associated with ditti in these 2 unprompted consciousness are lobha, moha, uddachya, ahirika, and anuttappa. So these 5 corruptions that are associated with ditti are eliminated by means of sahaja katta, united in coexistence. Simply because these 5 corruptions are associated with ditti together with this consciousness, when ditti is eliminated, because they were associated, they were united in coexistence, they are eliminated by means of sahaja katta. But the corruptions, ditti and vicikiccha, are removed by pahāna kattam. So the main purpose or the main function of the magga, sotapatti magga, is to eliminate ditti and vicikiccha. And because ditti and vicikiccha are associated with these other corruptions, those corruptions will be eliminated through union of coexistence. So now you must be wondering why we have divided this into unprompted consciousness and prompted consciousness. That is because when it comes to the prompted consciousness, we have another corruption associated here, and that is tīna, sloth. Whereas in the unprompted, you get only 5 corruptions. With the prompted consciousness, you get 6 corruptions. So that is why it has been divided into 2 groups. So you need to understand this difference between pahanekattam and sahajikattam. So the primary goal of the magga, Sotapatti Magga, is to eliminate Ditti and Vichikicha. But as a result of eliminating Ditti and Vichikicha, the other corruptions that arise together with them are also eliminated because they coexist with those 2 fetters. So those will be eliminated by what is called Sahajikattam, or union in coexistence. Now we come to Tham Sampayutto, associated therewith. So associated with those 8 united corruptions are the Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana. So here you can either take associated with the 8 corruptions in together, or you can take it separately. You can take each corruption separately, associated with that lobha, greed, that dosa, hate, and so on. So if we take one by one, let's take lobha, for instance. So associated with this lobha, we have the 4 different aggregates. We have Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana. And within this Sankhara Kanda, together with that lobha, we get moha, mana, tīna, uddacca, ahirika, anuttappa. Those corruptions associated with it. So we call them greed associated. So those corruptions are greed associated. Similarly, if we take dosa, what are the dosa associated or hate associated corruptions? These are moha, tīna, uddacca, ahirika, anuttappa. Now you can see there is a clear difference. When it comes to lobha, you get, if you compare the 2, lobha and dosa, you don't get mana appearing together with dosa. Then you don't get, let's see. Yeah, so in this group, of course, that is all. So you need to recall, go back to your knowledge on Cetasika and how they unite together with the different types of lobha chitta, dosa chitta, and moha chitta to get an understanding why these don't occur together with the dosa chitta. And then when we come to the moha chitta, the moha cetasika, then we get lobha, dosa, mana, tīna, uddacca, ahirika. We get all of those corruptions arising together with moha. Why is that? Moha is a sabba akusala sadharana. It is a universal unwholesome mental factor, which means it arises in all 12 unwholesome chittas. So moha is associated with all the other corruptions. And then when you come to mana, mana is exclusively found in the lobha chitta, which are not associated with wrong view. So here we get lobha, moha, tīna, uddacca, and ahirika, anuttappa as the mana associated corruptions. So similarly, you should be able to work out the sloth associated, the restlessness associated, the fearlessness of wrong associated corruptions in the same manner. So here we have a table which gives the summary of what was given on the previous slide. So the greed associated corruptions, hate associated corruptions, delusion associated, and conceit associated corruptions. And finally, tham samuttanang, originated thereby, means to spring from or originate from that greed or whatever those corruptions. So again, for an unwholesome deed to come into being, it needs to arise from either the body, do, verbal, or mind doors. So this is why this phrase, tam sammuttanam kaya kammam vachi kamma mano kamma, has been included here. Now we come to the Atthasālinī, the commentary chapter description of dassanena, pahātabbā, dhamma. So which are the states that are removable by insight? Chattaro ditthigata sampayutta chittupada. The four risings of consciousness rooted in greed associated with wrong view. Vicikicca sahagato chittupada. Risings of consciousness accompanied by doubt. Ime dhamma dassanena pahātabbā. These are the states that are removable by insight. So basically, what are completely eliminated by the stream winner's path are the four risings of consciousness. There are ditthigata sampayutta, which are the four consciousness rooted in greed. And the risings of consciousness accompanied by doubt, the vicikicca sahagata, chitta and cetasika. So altogether we get 5 risings of consciousness. So in the Atthasālinī, there is another paragraph which is actually applicable both to dassanena pahātabbā dhamma as well as bhāvanāya pahātabbā dhamma, and that is this paragraph. So the 4 consciousness rooted in greed, dissociated from wrong view. The 4 ditthigata vippayutta lobha sahagata chitta, chittupada. And the 2 risings of consciousness accompanied by displeasure. Dve domanassa sahagata chittupada. In other words, the 2 dosa mula chitta and the associated mental factors. Ime dhamma siya dassanena pahātabbā, siya bhāvanāya pahātabbā. These states can be removable by insight or removable by cultivation. So here, what this paragraph means is that, now I mentioned before, what are completely eliminated are the 5 chitta cetasika that I mentioned before. The ditthigata sampayutta lobha sahagata chitta cetasika, there are 4 there, and the vicikicca chitta cetasika 1. So altogether 5 chitta cetasika. And we have out of the 12, 6 other chitta cetasika that gives rise to births in the subhuman realms, in the apayas. Now these are the 4 ditthigata vippayutta lobha sahagata chitta and the 2 dosa mula chitta. So what happens by the Sotapatti Magga is that it cuts off the ability of these chitta cetasika to give rise to births in subhuman realms. And that is why that partial elimination is what is implied in this paragraph. So that is why it is given here as dassanena pahātabbā dhamma. So it's not a complete elimination, but it's a partial elimination. So in summary, these are the states that are removable by insight. The states that are completely eliminated are the 4 consciousness rooted in greed associated with wrong view, the ditthigata sampayutta lobha mula chitta, and the consciousness accompanied by doubt, the vicikicca sahagata chitta, and together with them the 22 mental factors that arise, excluding mana, dosa, issa, maccariya, and kukkucca. And then we get the states that are partially eliminated. In other words, what is cut off are the ability of these states to give rise to subhuman rebirths. So those are the 4 consciousness rooted in greed, dissociated from wrong view, the ditthigata vippayutta lobha chitta, and the 2 consciousness accompanied by displeasure, the 2 dosa mula chitta, and arising together with them the 25 mental factors, excluding ditti and vicikicca. So now let's look at the 12 unwholesome consciousness and how they get eliminated. So in dark blue, we have those that are eliminated by the Sotapatti or the stream winner's path. These are the 4 ditthigata sampayutta, the 4 lobha chitta that are associated with wrong view, and the vichikicha chitta, the consciousness associated with doubt. Next, in orange, we have given those that are eliminated by insight as well as by cultivation. So both dassanena pahātabbā as well as bhāvanāya pahātabbā. So what happens with the 4 ditthigata vippayutta chitta and the 2 dosa chitta? The ability of these chitta and their associated mental factors to give rise in subhuman realms, that ability is cut off by the sotapatti magga. Whereas the remainder of it is cut off by bhavanāya pahātabbā, the remaining 3 parts. That is sakadagami, anagami, and arihatta. And finally, in dark green, we have the uddacha sampayuttam, and that is eliminated by cultivation, and that is done by the arahatta magga. So again, this table summarizes the same thing that I mentioned before on the previous slide. So the pure dassanena pahātabbā dhamma are the 4 chitta associated with wrong view and the vichikicha chitta. And the 4 ditthigata vippayutta, those that are dissociated from wrong view, and the 2 dosa are both dassanena pahātabbā and bhavanāya pahātabbā. Whereas uddacha sampayutta, associated with restlessness chitta, is exclusively a bhavanāya pahātabbā dhamma. Now we move on to the next term, bhavanāya pahātabbā dhamma, states that are removable by cultivation. Now what is meant by cultivation? Now we mentioned that dassanena pahātabbā refers to the first sight of Nibbana. So now Nibbana has already been seen by the first magga, the sotapatti magga. So the remaining 3 parts, that is sakadagami, anagami, and arahatta, has the task of basically cultivating or developing the 4 Arya Satya that has already been seen. So they're not doing anything, or they're not seeing anything for the first time, but rather they are developing or cultivating the task or the sight of Nibbana through the elimination of fetters. So here it is what was initially seen, dassanena, was the sotapatti magga. And here cultivation refers to the remaining 3 parts. Now let's look at the Nikkepa Khandang, the summary section description of bhavanāya pahātabbā dhamma. Katame dhamma bhavanāya pahātabbā, which are the states that are removable by cultivation. Avaseso, lobo, doso, moho. Whatever greed, hatred, and ignorance still remain. Tade kattacha kilesa, and any corruptions united with them. Tang sampayutto vedanakkando sanyakkando sankarakkando viññānakkando. The 4 aggregates that are associated with them. Tam samuttana, kaya kammam, vachi kammam, mano kammam. Whatever action, bodily, vocal, or mental, springs from them. Ime dhamma bhavanāya pahātabbā. These are the states that are removable by cultivation. Now, why is it mentioned as avaseso, lobo, doso, moho? Now, we know that by dassanena pahātabbā, by removable by insight, certain parts of loba, dosa, and moha were eliminated. So now this is with reference to whatever that is left over, the leftover loba, dosa, moha, the greed, hatred, and ignorance. Whatever that is left will be eliminated by the 3 parts which are referred to by this bhavanāya pahātabbā, which are sakadagami, anagami, and arahatta parts. And when it comes to tade kattacha kilesa, tan sampayutta, vedanakkanda, sanyakkando, sankarakkando, tang samuttana, kaya kamam, vachi kamam. All of those you need to understand in the same way that we describe the first term, dassanena pahātabbā dhamma. Now coming to the commentary chapter, Atthakatha Khandang description, Katame Dhamma bhavanāya pahātabbā, which are the states removable by cultivation. Uddacca sahagato chittupādo, the risings of consciousness associated with restlessness. Ime dhamma bhavanāya pahātabbā. These are the states that are removable by cultivation. And now we come back to the paragraph which was common to both dassanena pahātabbā and bhavanāya pahātabbā. So here under bhavanāya pahātabbā, we get, apart from the uddacca sahagata chittuppada, we also get the 4 risings of consciousness accompanied by greed, dissociated from wrong view, and the 2 domanassa sahagata chittuppada, the 2 risings of consciousness accompanied by displeasure, in other words, the 2 dosa chitta. Now these we mentioned are partially removable by insight because they cut off the ability to give birth in subhuman realms. And the remainder of these chittuppada, these risings of consciousness, are eliminated by bhavanāya pahātabbā. So now let's take a quick look at the remaining 3 path consciousness. The first one is sakadagami magga citta, the path consciousness of one's returning. So here it doesn't completely eliminate or eradicate any fetters. What it does, it attenuates the grosser forms of kama raga, sensory desire, and vyapada, or also known as patigha, ill will. So what basically happens is that this person who reaches sakadagami state will be reborn in this world or the sense sphere at most only one more time before attaining liberation. So that is why they are called once returner. Next, we come to the anagami magga citta, the path consciousness of non-returning. So here the person who attains this path will never be reborn again in the sensory plane. That is why they say he is a non-returner. And what happens here? He cuts off completely sensory desire, kama raga, and vyapada, ill will. And by eliminating ill will completely, because the 2 dosa mula citta are united in coexistence with this dosa cetasika, they too are also permanently eliminated. So it's a sahajekatta pahana when it comes to these 2 chittas that are rooted in hatred. So basically the kama raga and patigha will be completely eliminated by this anagami magga. Now we come to the final path, consciousness of arahant citta, arahatta magga citta. So an arahant is someone who is fully liberated. He has completely destroyed all the kilesas. So what are remaining? The remaining 5 subtle fetters, which are rupa raga, desire for fine material existence, arupa raga, desire for immaterial existence, mana, conceit, uddacca, restlessness, and avijja, ignorance. So once these 5 are completely eliminated, so are the remaining types of unwholesome chittas and their associated other cetasikas. So these are the 4 rooted in greed, which are dissociated from wrong views. That is the 4 ditthigata vipayutta chittas and the moha mula chitta, the one rooted in illusion, associated with restlessness or uddacca. So now let's look at a quick illustration of how these chittas are eliminated. So now we have here the 8 lobha chitta, the 2 dosa chitta, and the 2 moha chitta, 12 altogether. So by the sotapatti magga chitta, the ones in blue are completely eliminated, right? And at the same time, the 4 ditthigata vipayutta and the 2 dosa chitta, the ones in red, their ability to give rise to subhuman rebirths is also cut off. So that is the function of the Sotapatti Magga. So that was basically dassanena, pahātabbā, dhamma, what we mentioned before under Sotapatti. Now we are coming to bhāvanāya, pahātabbā, starting with Sakadagami. So what does Sakadagami do? It doesn't completely eradicate any of the fetters, but it attenuates the grosser forms of sensory desire, kamaraga, as well as vyapada, or also called patiga in some texts. So thereby, it attenuates the grosser forms of the 4 ditthigata vipayutta chittas and the 2 dosamula chittas. Next, we come to anagami. And what does anagami do? It completely eliminates kamaraga and patiga. So now what happens to our 4 ditthigata vipayutta chitta? They are further diluted, or they are further lessened in their strength. So that is what anagami chitta does. It completely eliminates kamaraga and vyapada. Because it eliminates vyapada, the 2 dosamula chittas are completely eliminated, but still rupa raga and arupa raga still exists. Therefore, the 4 ditthigata vipayutta chitta will continue to exist. And finally, we come to arahatta. So what arahatta does, it eradicates whatever is remaining, which are rupa raga, arupa raga, mana, uddacha, avijja. So once these 5 subtle fetters are completely destroyed, as a result, the remaining 5 chitta which were associated with them are also completely eliminated. So that is the function of arahatta, and that will complete the elimination of all unwholesome risings of consciousness. So now let's look at bhāvanāya, pahātabbā, dhamma, the summary of the states that are removable by cultivation. So the states that are completely eliminated are the uddacha sahagata chittuppada, the consciousness accompanied by restlessness, together with the 15 mental factors associated with it. And the states that are partially eliminated or cuts off the remaining unwholesome risings of consciousness. These are the 4 ditthigata vipayutta lobha sahagata chitta, the 4 consciousness rooted in greed, dissociated from wrong view, and the 2 consciousness accompanied by displeasure, or the 2 dosamula chitta, and associated with them the 25 mental factors, excluding ditthi and vichikiccha. Now we come to neva dassanena na bhavanāya pahātabbā dhamma, the third term, states that are removable by neither insight nor cultivation. So here, what this term really means is it's a rejection of the previous 2 terms. It is not dassanena pahātabbā, neither is it bhavanāya pahātabbā. So basically everything that is remaining will fall under this term. In other words, everything apart from the unwholesome risings of consciousness will fall under this third term. Now, this is a little, now you know that the person who attains the state of Sotapatti or stream winner, that person will be at most born 7 lives. So he will not be born an 8th time. So one might think, okay, so if that is the case, then maybe the Sotapatti Magga also has the ability to eliminate all future wholesome, kusala, vipaka, resultants, functionals, kriya, as well as the kammaja rupa, and everything that is to arise in future also must be eliminated by this stream winner's path. But it should not be taken in that sense. So you must understand that what the path does is basically elimination of unwholesome things, not wholesome things. So then how come a person will not be born again? And how come a person will not generate kusala, vipaka, and so on beyond an eighth birth? There has to be some reason for that. So what we need to understand is by eliminating the corruptions, there is this condition. In conditional, under conditional relations, there is something that is described as upanissaya paccaya, or strong dependence condition. So the corruptions has a strong dependence condition, or those corruptions, because of their existence, it will give rise to future births. Now, if you think of the dependent origination, avijja, paccaya, sankhara, and so on. Again, because it is because of avijja that we generate sankhara, and that sankhara is not only the bad things, it's also the wholesome. You get punyabhi sankhara, apunyabhi sankhara, anenjabhi sankhara, all types of sankhara being generated as a result of avijja. So you have a upanissaya paccaya there, a strong dependence condition arising there. So similarly, as long as someone has not eliminated these corruptions, due to that strong dependence, future births will occur, will come into being. But by eliminating these corruptions, we are removing that strong dependence condition. Thereby, as a result of that elimination of corruptions, the future births will not take place. So you have to see it, you have to understand this, that we are not eliminating any kusala, any vipaka, or any kriya, but basically what is happening is we are taking away a condition that will give rise to future kusala, vipaka, and kriya beyond that eighth birth. So now I'm talking in relation to a stream winner, right? So with regards to the Sakadagami person, Anagami, and Arahatta, again, you have to correlate it to this same context. So now let's look at the summary, the Nikkepa description of neva dassanena na bhāvanāya pahātabbā dhamma. Katame dhamma neva dassanena na bhāvanāya pahātabbā, which are the states that are removable by neither insight nor cultivation. Kusalabhyakata dhamma, kāmāvachara, rūpāvachara, arūpāvachara, apariyapanna. So basically the wholesome and indeterminate states arising in the sense sphere, fine material sphere, immaterial sphere, and unincluded sphere. So what it means is the wholesome and resultant functional states arising in the four planes of existence. Vedanakkhando, Sanyakkhando, Sankarakkando, Vijñānakkando, the four aggregates. Sabbancha Rupam and all material forms, Asankatacha Dhatu and the unconditioned element, which is Nibbana. Ime Dhamma neva dassanena na bhāvanāya pahātabbā. These are the states that are removable by neither insight nor cultivation. And now we come to the Atthakatha, the commentary chapter. And here how it is described is as Chatusu bhumisu kusalang, Chatusu bhumisu vipako, Tisu bhumisu kiryabhya kata. So we know that kusal, or the wholesome states, arise in four planes. The vipaka, or the resultants, arise again in the same four planes. However, the functionals, the kriya chitta, arise only in three planes. The sense sphere, fine material sphere, and the immaterial sphere. So here, what it describes, in the Nikkepa Khanda, it was not mentioned separately what the Kusalabhyakata Dhamma are, nor was it described how these planes, or how these states occur in the certain planes. So here it clearly describes in which planes these states occur in. And then the rest, Rupancha, all material forms, Nibbanancha, the final state of deliverance. These are the states that are removable by neither insight nor cultivation. So the summary of neva, dassanena, bhāvanāya, pahātabbā, dhamma are the 21 wholesome consciousness, the kusala, the 36 resultants, vipaka, 20 functionals, kriya, 28 matter, rupa, nibbana, and the 38 mental factors that arise together with the wholesome resultant and functional consciousness. So we've come to the end of Dassana Tika, and as an exercise, I would like you to categorize the analytical states of the Dassana Tika according to Kanda, Ayatana, Dhatu, and Arya Satya. So you need to take individual terms and categorize the analytical states under these 4 categories. We will share merits now. The next lesson, there'll be a slight change to the schedule, will be on the 17th of November. So let us share merits now. I would like all of you to join. Akāsattā ca bhummattā
Devānagāma
mahittika
punyantam kanmotitva chirakanto tasana chirakanto tasana chirakanto
Idam me Imina punyam kala samagam hotu yava nibbana pattiya
Mina punyam
nam me punyam pahātabbā hotu nam me punyam nibbanassa paccayo hotu mama punyam
bagam sabasatana saji
sabbe
samanya bagam
bhavantu Buddha
sasanang chirang
Buddha sasanang chirang tittatu Buddha sasanang chirang tittatu sadhu.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Doctor. Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you.